5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hello and welcome to the Vegan Steven podcast. Vegan Steven is a parody podcast. Vegan Steven is a fictional character. All characters and fences in the show, even though it's based on real people, are entirely fictional. All observed with some present part of the following program contains coarse language and due to its content should not be viewed by anyone. Hello and welcome. Today is
Sunday, baby.
It's Sunday.
14th.
It's the 14th. Sunday 14th. The time is 00.01. I'm being very cheeky.
I've been dead for about 1 minute.
This is the ghost of Dr. Boogie. He got
I died of coronavirus.
He died of coronavirus.
The lethal injection they injected me was with coronavirus.
Very controversially, he's been injected with coronavirus. You heard it here first. The volume knob's on there, far left there, if you need to turn it up at all. And it sounds good. So,
I'm like
this is
leftover remnants of a banshee.
Leftover remnants of the banshee, right here, live on the Vegan Steven podcast. This is, we're gonna go to the limits. We're gonna take it absolutely. This is the weekend special.
By the way, hands up who likes political correctness. No one.
There you are.
Well, I'm dead anyway, so I don't have to worry about it. You can't sue a dead person anyway. You can't sue it like a dead spirit.
So the ghost of Dr. Boogie, what has been happening in the news this week?
Oh,
since I saw you last.
Should I talk about the president of a particular country? Something about Humpty Trumpty.
Humpty Trumpty?
Humpty Trumped. Donald
Trump?
Humpty Trumped.
Oh, we're getting
Humpty
political.
Dumped.
Oh dear.
I don't know what happened. What was it? Some New Jersey people were knocking your man's death, killed by a police officer, and they actually did a reenactment in front of black people who were protesting, and then one of them was working for a company who got fired, and then the company fired them, and the other one was working for a prison who was being suspended. Pending investigation. But they did a reenactment to piss off the black people, and then they had the American flag with Trump written all over it. They were staging his death, basically.
Yeah.
And trying to say, well, if this wasn't you, you'd be dead. They were pretending to murder your man, George, and then they were doing it just to really piss them off because they were marching by through that neighborhood. And they one of them got fired from their job for it. That's the biggest news I've heard this week.
That's wild.
Yeah, no, it's so fucked up. It's one of the most fucked up things I've ever seen ever. It's just really gone down the shits there. It's one of those situations where I'm down on the ghost. I'm getting the fuck out of here. I always wanted to leave this planet. At least I'm in a ghostly bubble. So.
Yeah,
bloody hell, I need glasses to see. There you go.
Oh, yeah, fucking the George thing.
And then I read up another thing about the United Arab Emirates looking to build up a big biome on Mars so that people can actually fly there. Passengers can actually fly there commercially and live there if they wanted to.
Fuck.
It's this is a perfect time to do that.
Damn.
I should have done that a long time ago. In a previous existence or whatever. But I'm screaming out for change.
You're screaming out for change?
I'm screaming it literally. If you tell me to shut my mouth, I literally can't. Because I'm dead, man. Am I? Dude, am I dead or am I just a dread?
I was so confused looking at you.
No, I know. Where's that? See, here's one thing, just do not drink and talk. This is what happens. You just end up like this. Fuck that.
Cover your identity there, Doctor.
Where is it? Oh, I'm back and I've resurrected from the...
So, in today's news, there was someone here a while ago. Dr. Boogie, welcome. There was someone here a few minutes ago, I don't know who they were. But before you arrived, there was someone here and they were talking about the unfortunate passing of George Floyd, and of course they're mentioning some other recent
There was
events.
like a racial controversial group. Well, I don't know if I could call them controversial because I think 99% of people would disagree with these people. They were basically what it was. They were the Black Lives Matter protest was happening, and they were marching down through. I think wherever it was near neighborhood,
Right.
and then there was a bunch of people like it was like a family with pretending to be selling wood.
Pretending to sell wood.
I think it was something
something
really stupid.
All
I
right.
think. And then they were basically.
I'm baffled.
They were basically chanting like back at them. They were they knew these people were going to come down, so they basically set themselves up. And one guy was pretending was putting a knee on another guy, the same way as they did with George Floyd, just to kind of reenact it and said, like, you see, this is what happens if you don't abide with the police. This is what we'll do to you. And they're just saying that just to piss off the people who were walking down the neighborhood, and just to aggravate them even more. They even had the American flag and saying Trump in capital letters all over it.
So this was recently, was it?
I think it was only in the last few days, and one of them got fired in the job. Because someone captured a video on their phone, so one of them lost their job. The other is being suspended pending further investigation. I don't know what happened with that yet, but I know with this particular job, they told him to fuck off, basically.
Gave the old
The boot.
to boot.
Yeah, so that's the wildest thing. I mean, it's wild because these are not like teenagers. These are like middle-aged people, like kind of engaging in this stuff. Like proper like middle-aged to 70s.
Oh shit! Did you? Sorry, I just gotta cover that.
Yeah, middle-aged to like kind of 70s people. Like they were engaging in like this incident.
Yeah.
And yet they had the flag like just putting Trump all over it, and then just trying. I think they were just really trying to piss them off, like just really adding to it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, to me, like that's like, I mean, I expect that from like teenagers, but not from like middle-aged to like old-age people, like so much. But there you go. Anything can happen. It just goes to show. There's always a few. Have you seen anything wild or anything weird or wacky or?
I'm dying to hear the craziest fucking shit that you've been getting up to since I haven't seen you in 3 fucking months.
I know, it's
and
been way too long.
This is the weekend special. We did a coronavirus special yesterday. If you missed it, that was Saturday episode. This is Sunday. The time once again is 00.08, I think, and it is. Please be recording, for the love of flippers. It is recording. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's Sunday. Man.
Yeah.
Lucid dreaming.
I tell you what.
Tripping balls.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. There's one crazy thing.
Tripping dolly balls. Man, the lad in the off license. We went up to the off license. We were like, "Listen, lad, we want some Buckfast. We've never had it before." And he was like, "I brought up 2 bottles."
And he recommended one.
He recommended one. I brought up 2 bottles. And he said he was genuinely concerned for our well-being.
There's also another side to that. Me being negative, that they have to say that to cover themselves. Do they ever have to do that?
No, these lads were pretty. They're young.
Yeah,
books.
they are. Yeah, they're pretty decent.
They're young books. I shouldn't have even said that brand name.
True.
When I said that brand name, I actually meant
Book slow.
Book
just
slow. The other.
When the book don't stop there.
The book doesn't stop.
Doesn't even cost any books. Right, it's just your luck. Anyway, but yeah, so yes, it's crazy as shit. Well, sadly enough, because of the lockdown. Well, apart from like nearly everyone fucking dying of illness around me, like everyone dropping off like flies. Oh bloody! I had that once before, not again.
Yeah.
But
it's
fucking
stressful enough, like.
Oh, once every 5 years, everyone will die. So then, so what happened was, so I had this one night where, and this was like, it was still during the lockdown, but I fully recovered from the coronavirus at the stage.
Mm.
And I had this one night
Can I pour you, Dr. Boogie, may I have the honour of pouring you a cool pint while you're waiting?
Sure.
Now, this cool pint...
Never say no to this.
...is this vegan Stephen... I did the rundown, didn't I?
Oh, you have a...
Party of podcast and all that, didn't I?
Yeah.
Are you sure I did it?
You think you did. I think you did. I know you did it.
Vegan Stephen podcast, Party of podcast. Vegan Stephen's fictional character. All characters and events in the show, even though it's based on real people, they're entirely fictional. All celebrity voiced or impersonated and poorly. The following program contains coarse language and gratuitous content should not be viewed by anyone. Lads, pollen pints.
Oh, what's the pint?
Pure head on this pint. Now, this of course is not a pint. This is a prop because we are live on the internet.
And it's just prop
the pint of the problem is
the problem.
It's a non-alcoholic pint.
Yeah, we don't drink.
For all you advertisers.
Yeah, like we don't drink. We drink when we're thirsty. We just don't drink.
It takes a truly magnificent performer to perfect the art of slurring their words.
No, you. Oh man, that was perfect.
Check that out.
Look at that.
See, they can't see it because of all the 3D special effects I have going on here.
That was real. Oh, thanks. Do you want have some more of this lovely stuff? Blackberry stuff. Oh, fuck's sake, that will sound good. You have the rest of that. Oh man, that sounds good.
So
I can.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning.
All right.
Good morning. Listen, lads, we're alive. We're absolutely alive, and
we're alive and alive.
We could not be more happy to be alive. This lad literally could have died. He could have lost his father. If you listen to the episode yesterday, absolutely heart-wrenching episode. Check it out. But also buy the merch.
I know some ghosts.
Do you like that? What's that called? Like a changeover? A fucking what's that called? Segue. Do you like that segue? Nearly, but also buy the merch. Buy that merch downstairs. Vegan Stephen t-shirts, Vegan Stephen hats, Vegan Stephen.
Well worth it, trust me.
Socks.
Please do.
All the rest of it. Fucking hell. Tasteless promotion.
There was. We could all go on about how shit the lockdown was.
Yeah.
I decided to
hit that button there. Oh fuck yeah.
I decided during lockdown I was going to get into. I'm into blues. I just don't know what the fuck it is.
Dr. Boogie's into blues. What's going on?
Blues and boogie.
Blues and boogie.
I decided just to really go do full on. Like,
Sunday special day.
While I'm waiting around to like, if you want to wake up to feeling good this day.
If you want to wake up.
Yeah, just gonna put it.
To my name. If you want to wake up to the blues on Sunday morning. If you want to wake up. If you want to wake up on Sunday morning. You gotta wake up now. It's Sunday morning. It's Dr. Boogie and Vegan Stephen selling you shameless merch shit. Oh yeah, drinking caffeinated wine. Allegedly, it's Vegan Stephen. Yeah. Oh, allegedly, we don't have the license. We don't pay the license fee.
Yeah. So that kind of stuff. Hey, that's the kind of thing like where I just couldn't fucking stop. Once I started, I just couldn't stop. Like and I was just like sitting in that dining room, the lounge, and I was just like fucking going mental with that stuff. I mean, just imagine like you have a certain thought going, even if it's what people might describe as absolutely pathetic. Like you wouldn't describe it, but the thing with music therapy is like you go onto the piano or whatever instrument you're on, and then. You're like, okay, if you can't tell it to anyone, just tell it to the instrument, and then
it's fucking
wild. You kind of, it's like recharging your batteries or something.
It's letting all that fucking roar out.
Yeah,
so it's like I find sometimes if you've been doing manual labour.
Oh yeah.
It can get out the aggression, or else sometimes you need to play an instrument sometimes, and
It's kind of like a release.
Sometimes, depending on what kind of.
So kind of like some sort of mental ejaculation or something like that.
Yeah.
By the way, if you're under 18, you were told, get the fuck off.
Yeah, strictly over 21s, you have to be moved out and have a mortgage if you want to listen to this podcast.
You cannot have a done full sexual.
These pints are not pints, these are props. Flavoured.
You are not
water.
allowed to accuse us of any
wrong doing, right doing.
Because we're neither. We're just in no man's land in between. We're just doing. We're not wrong or right, we're just doing. Just crazy motherfucker. Like, just like that cartoon. Just like, oh no. Have you ever like experienced like regression where
talk to me, Dr. Boogie. Talk to me.
The difference between regression.
Talk on the outskirts. Fuck, Dr. Boogie. Have you heard that they're planning on mining the outer rims of fucking Jupiter?
What?
Well,
no
I could be talking about the wrong. I was going to say Mexican. The wrong Mexican. That would be very racial.
No, don't Trump like that.
The wrong meteorite or.
You mean you're wrong.
I'm making a fool out of myself here.
No, this is wrong.
Mining like the rings of Saturn or something for a bit of gold.
Really?
Do you hear all this waffle?
No, well, it'd be interesting in trying it out anyway.
The producer's telling me to move on. Go back to you, Dr. Biggie. Where are you going on there?
I want to hear more about this.
The producer gave me the red card there. He says one more card and you're out.
Oh,
and you're here.
Yellow card or sure? Oh fuck that. I like orange. Fuck that.
Apparently they're mining rings of certain fucking planets and shit for gold and platinum and all this stuff.
It's funny enough because I was only telling you like a few minutes ago that some country in the Middle East was like planning a travel route to Mars, and they're actually what I didn't say is they're actually.
What country was that? Is that an episode? Saturday's episode?
No, it was like
this episode.
It was like somewhere in between an episode. It was like
off the record episode.
Off the record.
Oh, if you want an off the record episode, that is you gotta
pay €10
€10 a month as opposed to €5 a minute.
Fair enough, yeah.
On the regular package.
Well,
sign up now.
10 months you at least.
Sign up the first.
Your minimum subscription period is like 6 months.
Subscription period is 6 months, and
you can hear all the deleted scenes and all.
1.5 of your born and.
Well, I'm taking it anyway. Fuck, I'm a surrogate anyway.
He's a surrogate.
And then surrogate. So Bill Gates. No, fuck.
Anyway. Oh shit! Deformation.
Oh shit! No, he's good. He's a good man. He's very good. We're a secret.
Scene.
So yeah, they were going to build this in United Arab Emirates outside Dubai. They were going to build like another theme park or something biome. They built so many biomes replicating like different.
Dr. Boogie, please give me a definition of biome.
So biome is basically like in natural circumstances, it's like a environmental, like a climate environment. So for example, tropical is one biome, like a rainforest is biome.
Class.
A polar, like the Antarctica is another biome. A desert is another biome. So
there are simulations of.
I think there's a natural definition, like what biomes are, it's just like a vegetation kind of environment that reflects the climate. So if you're in like a rainforest, if you're in tropical or equatorial, and then if you're in a desert, it's just like dunes, and then if you're Antarctica or Arctica, it's just windy and shitload of ice.
And could you explain that via music?
Well,
here's a biome defined via music. Here we go.
So
3, 2, 1. Here's a biome.
So I've had another set of biomes of music. This is blues biome.
This is a biome. This is a biome.
So that's the major against the minor. That's the typical blues. And then this is a classical. This is classical. That's kind of classical, possibly. Yeah. And then this is
biome 101 right there.
And then so that's a musical biome. Yeah. So
I'm
a biome is
you from the point.
A biome is like a genre. Consider it like a genre of a climate. Consider it like the way you've got like.
That is actually a very
genres.
good way of putting it, isn't it?
Exactly, but that's all it is. It's just a way of describing.
Junior cert geography. Did you do leavings or geography?
I did, yeah. I needed that.
That's it right there.
I tell you, I needed that to get into college because I was fuck all. Like I did music, but anything else, I was shite at. I was absolutely shite. I wasn't. Even, I just about passed that geography anyway. Well, enough to get into where I need to go.
Back to biomes.
Yeah, into the college biome. Anyway, so then, so then I think the way to see a biome is just a lot of people see it as like a place, but in an environment. But if you wanted to see it, like see it in the same way as you see it as a genre, then that's all it is. It's just a description of a certain status. So in terms of climate, you have a desert biome, you have a rainforest biome, you have a ice biome. Anything else, I don't fucking know. Because there's like variations of, there's like semi-arid. It goes, they're like the main categories. Anything else is just somewhere in between. And maybe complicated like no tomorrow. And then you have nice. And then you have the alcoholic biome. And then
the alcoholic biome.
If you're into the Little Mermaid, then you have an oceanic biome.
Fuck.
If you live in an island or something like that. So they're like environment's like an environment, or it's like describing a genre of an environment rather than a genre of music or a book.
Yeah.
And so so that's like a biome. So what they're doing in Dubai is they're building. They actually have a city in you okay there? You got.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Got it up there. Because there's loads of fucking nagging. We have to nag. I'm nagging.
Oh, you want a bit of...
No, I'm grand. Not for the moment. No, I was just saying it's there, like.
Yeah, no, this is pretty good.
You
want to swap, do you?
No, you go for it. No, I'm happy with this.
Make sure you subscribe, all you people who are...
Legends.
Tickle the subscribe button and all the rest of it. Fair play to you.
Do you know what? I have a really cool app actually. Speaking of biomes, like going into space, I have the app called the International Space Station. It's actually I was woken up early in the morning by vibrations of them doing live experiments out there. And guess how long it takes to travel the whole globe? This thing here, guess how long it takes to travel that world? It's just below Africa.
What is going on?
It can go from Africa back to Africa all around in an hour and a half.
What can?
The International Space Station. It's like a satellite going through space.
Oh yeah.
It's fucking. I didn't know it could go that fast. Because if you see it in the sky, it looks like a moving star. It just looks like a star that's moving, like that, like an orb or something like that. Because I've seen it before and I didn't know what it was, but looking back, I think it's the International Space Station, and it's really crazy. Another person described it as like a low-flying, like fast-moving aeroplane. Although I think you could only see it at night because you can't hear any sound of it. To me, it just looked like a star that was moving, that was close to us. And even though it looked like it took like 10 seconds to go for a garden, it's actually, by the time you see it again, it's already like 3,000 miles away anyway, or 300 miles, something ridiculous. I don't know how that thing went so fast. I don't know, I just kept thinking it was like in a certain part of the globe above 250 miles and it just stayed in one place and then slowly kind of moved, but I didn't know it went that fast. Jeez, like how the fuck do they... I always fascinated about... I've always been looking at like definitions of like how it feels to be in a rocket when launching into space. I always wanted to know what that feels like.
Oh yeah?
Really wanted to know what it feels like to be launched in a rocket. All the things that they describe throughout history, but they just describe the event. But the thing is, the thing is, they just, these historical things, like all they do is describe the events and what happened. They don't give, I rarely hear about personal accounts, so, and like, they wonder why people can't emphasize the history. Well, that's because the one thing that doesn't exist is empathy. Like, there's not enough empathy there, like, and how then can they bring... They need to understand how they experience it. We want to hear it from them, their point of view, not just from an outside point of view. I want to hear an inner point of view, like from first hand.
Yeah.
Explain to me.
The source.
Exactly, yeah. But all we're getting to see is a movie version of it. We're not... we can't see it in their shoes, and yet history attempts to do that. Yeah, it might. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But in things like that, I don't think it does a good enough job, because I think to really understand it, you have to experience it. Ultimately, to really know what it's like, you're going to have to experience it yourself.
How do you feel about that? We're all from the stars and we get to choose our own families and we come down and fucking...
Well, I wouldn't be...
Shit.
I would say I believe in free will. I think at any level, it's going to sound crazy, but even at bacterial and organism level, I think free will exists. Like, where did we come from? We came from the stars. Like, free will, there has to be a source of everything. We came from something. Like, we kind of developed, and over time we got bigger and bigger and bigger. Like, we came into the oceans like jellyfish and them. But ultimately, my free will had to have started somewhere. It wasn't like we're all being controlled in us. One day someone decided to get up on the podium and say, by the way, I believe in free will. I mean, these things happen like over time. I do believe anyway. I think it's crazy what to really think of. Because I never think deep enough, but I really think, I really think in terms of coming from the stars, I think we absolutely did. And I think it's a very kind of complicated process, which is why I think we're not the only persons alone in the universe. Why planet Earth isn't the only what are the chances of us being the only people that exist in an infinite universe? Remember, there's an infinite amount of possibilities.
That was finite.
Yeah, but how do we know though? Like, how do we know it's finite? Like, what have we to prove?
I was trying to look up the most fucking... the Actors Studio fucking most asked questions. Have you heard that? There's like some fucking 21 questions that you fucking ask and a lot of bollocks. But we all come from the stars, Barney.
I love like when you go into Google and the most asked questions, like, I'm going to ask one right. Do you eat or drink? What's going to be the next word after that?
Soda.
What's the one thing you eat and drink? You could eat or drink.
Soda.
I bet it's going to be soup.
Soup?
Do you
fuck off with your soup?
Eat... here, look at that. First thing on the...
Soup.
First thing that comes up.
Do you eat or drink soup? Because it's an in-between.
Liquid, but it's exactly.
Medium. That's the word for it, isn't it?
So you have soup for your lunch, but you don't say, I'm going to have to drink water for your lunch. That's... two answers. In England, US, either eat or drink could be used with soup. That's
Dr. Boogie, you're there, right? And you're in a time capsule. And you're there and you've sailed out to your son. And then Terminator's job, you're coming out. And you're like, listen, fucking son, I can only tell you 3 things and then I have to say goodbye to you. Good lad. I'll talk to you after.
So what would those 3 things be?
Yeah. Do you have any words of wisdom? For all the fools.
Well, most people at this point would say they would probably I didn't set you up right for a relationship, but find someone who will make you happy.
Find someone who will make you happy.
Well, well, that could work, possibly.
Okay.
We'll go with that anyway, but
Fine.
Find something that will make you happy.
Mm-hmm.
And then find a... It's all about find... Well, now it's about find then. Follow your dream. Follow your dreams regardless of what anything
is. Is it your life advice?
I would actually think so. I mean,
follow your dreams.
I mean, don't be so easily influenced about people's negative... I find that people... I found this firsthand so many times, and I'm thankfully in most cases they were wrong.
Mm-hmm.
From my experience, most of the people were wrong. Most people are gonna give you the worst expectation of anything. Like you will tell about something you're looking forward to, and then they might give you a very dim response to it. But I find that I find that they might have had an exceptionally bad experience, but just because you know them well, you might mistakenly it's easy to mistakenly assume it's general knowledge, but it's actually or general experience. But I think sometimes have a look at it deeper and decide for yourself if it's, because I found in most cases it was never as bad as it was, because if it's really that bad, it's usually not commonplace to be that quite as bad as that. I find that there's always some middle ground. Yeah, okay, it might not be as good as you wanted to expect it, but it's usually not going to be quite as bad. So I think the only way to really learn is to actually experience it for yourself. Obviously, be careful out there and don't really put yourself in danger, but challenge yourself. Challenge yourself, and there's no harm in the mental challenge. Challenge is not all physical; it's equally as mental. It's not. I mean, going through the most mental challenge is probably more challenging than climbing the Himalayas.
Yeah.
I think. I mean.
Fuck.
But I mean, they say like they how. What's the most admirable feats? Have you noticed in the news anyone who's on being praised like a hero for feats? It's all. Have you noticed it's usually physical? Nothing to do with mental.
Well, aren't the mental like they are all rich, like, because wealth represents a series of like good decisions in a row.
You'd think that, yeah, but I think but what they don't seem to go into is like the ones in a really bad way how to overcome it. I think they do sometimes, but I think they could do it more. I think they could kind of basically come up to the same level, or at least maybe not same, but close to it, where they, I mean, people who like walk, a 99-year-old walking like 100 laps in 3 months, brilliant and all that.
Yeah. And
all these amazing physical, like people with no arms or legs, able to win in the sports and things. I think that's unbelievably amazing. Well, I think what they could also do is they could say how a loyal family, like a person with no arms or legs, could raise a whole family and be the best family out there. I think if we could hear more of that, then I think we can start to go somewhere in terms of a way, not just about the physical, but how the whole emotional, how they can overcome emotional challenges which are inevitable in that kind of situation. So I think they could really go, they should kind of steer things some more. They should try to ignore all the shit news, because it's always going to be negativity. If they can turn away themselves a little bit more than what they could into the more kind of overcoming positive thing, then we'd see a big difference.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I think. That's my personal opinion. I mean, that's totally my view on it. They need to kind of, even, I mean, because that's going to involve a lot of mental challenges that, if they overcame it, then they're going to set a very, they're going to be the masterminds of that example towards people who might not have that experience, and yet who could overcome things maybe in a different way. I mean, they could, if they can, or any, it doesn't necessarily have to involve any physical deformities, even like, do you know, I think of something crazy. Are you ready for this?
Oh shit, can we say this on air?
I mean, even if you, I mean, I've heard, thankfully they're extremely rare, but I've heard like videos of like children as like under the age of 10 who were like suicidal because of mental illness, things like that. Thankfully they're so rare. From what I heard, I don't know how common, but if I heard a situation, let's say one of them were able to kind of get through it, and 20 years later they were still like living a life, they could be telling others like who haven't gone through that, like how to resolve problems. And then you should be focused more towards that kind of thing, also, rather than like towards how someone's dividing a country or a world. They should be focusing on how someone's trying to make a world a better, even if they're not as big or as well known, but if they did enough with those people, it would eventually almost closely balance out. But instead of relying on these big figures who haven't a fucking clue what they're doing, that's what I think. Yeah. To me, that's news.
Yeah, that's great. So you nearly died this year, Dr. Boogie.
Oh, I don't think, no, did I wouldn't say I nearly died, but I had an 8% chance of dying.
While I'm hyping this up, you nearly died. Nearly died. Was there anything, I mean, you're lying in your deathbed there with coronavirus, was there anything you're like, fuck, I should have fucking done that? Is there anything
I
you were
didn't
like,
quite get to that stage, but I wouldn't say as far. But you know what? Sometimes I have a strange belief that where it's going to be controversial. I'm about to say here.
Damn! Vegan Steam is a parody podcast. Vegan Steam is a fictional character. All characters events in the show, even though they aren't real people, they're entirely fictional. All celebrity voices are personally poorly developed and programmed to use the word language.
But so then, if I think, like, sometimes I think when you're close to your death, I'm not saying you necessarily be like near to death, but you're that kind of sort of statistically closer. When you're sick, you're always closer to death than you are when you're not sick. That's what I think. Even if you're still miles off, it's like even if you go from the North Pole to Greenland, you're still closer to the equator. Even though you're still miles off and safely well away from it, you're still that little bit closer than you were if you were right at the top of the North Pole. So when you're sick with anything, you're always that little bit closer to death.
Yeah.
You'll still be a long way up, but you're closer. But I found from personal experience, I don't know if it's my spirit leaving the body or what, but I sometimes get these crazy tangible dreams where I'm thinking things almost in a very confused way, but yeah, I'm having an absolutely ecstatic experience. And it could be, and it's so strange. I'm mixing different time zones into what I'm missing. I'm not living the experiences, but time just becomes non-existent in this place. I've noticed this because I'm very into this kind of stuff. I'm very into like time, just like, I mean, here time is very linear, but up there, like, it's totally, you can go either way. I don't know, the best way I could describe it is, have you ever like tried to remember something that never happened? That's the closest thing I could best describe it. So I would have had experience, like sometimes binary experience, like two different outcomes, that one happened then the other didn't happen. Then I'd almost be in a situation which one it's going to go to. And it'd be in such a state of utter confusion, but at the same time so vivid and like so physical and real that it was the most intense experience, emotional experience that I would have. And sometimes they can be so pleasant, like no ecstasy could even try to replicate it, even if you wanted it to. It's like, it's so real, so tangible that even when you wake up, it's as if it's still in your body. It's like some energy that's gone into your body that's just creating this absolutely absurd experience that is so, I mean, to me, to replicate that while I'm still fully conscious awake, I need strobe lights, I need psychedelics. I mean, none of the psychedelics, like, the only thing that could probably beat that is probably DMT. And yet this is like, and it's typically when you fall asleep, you wake up, it's daylight, and then you fall asleep again. That's when the shit goes down. And same likewise with the nightmares, even the bad stuff goes on during that time. But even with the good stuff, but I found when I'm sick, that happens more often for some reason. In my case, it usually happens when I'm more sick. I can have these elated, ecstatic experiences that I cannot sometimes begin to describe. It's very difficult to describe because when I have something on that level, it's the whole kind of concept of time is, I wouldn't say non-existence, but I say it's very different and it's back and forth. You can literally change your mind between different time zones. It's like going forward in time, back in time at the same. Have you ever seen Interstellar?
Yeah.
I mean, if you see the very last scene of that, to me, that's what it's like. Yeah, it's freaky as fuck. But yeah, that's how I find sometimes. It's wacky as fuck, but I love it. That's why I want to lucid dream. I want to just be in control of my experiences, even if they are as fucked up as that. But I want to be able to do craziest shit ever, and just like live out, like, even if it's crazy, it's like flying around or something like crazy, that I'm fully aware. If I'm fully aware of the stuff, it'd be even better.
Yeah, it's awful when it turns on you though.
Yeah, no, when it goes.
Sometimes the fucking lucid dreams turn on you. I'm like, wow. You'd be having a great time, and then lucid dreams start getting thoughts of their own.
Oh really? Like as in, you start having negative experiences in them, or?
Yeah, sure. I told you about this before. Like, well, it's not always. It's not for everyone. Like,
but it can happen.
Yeah, sure. It's all grand. It's all imaginary.
I mean, as a kid, I had some experiences of like black poles flying towards me and like beating me up.
Yeah, we were talking about that a lot in the one of the episodes. There is fucking heart-wrenching.
And it's hard, like, and I never knew, but when, and I'm not saying it is the source, this particular source that I mentioned, it's when I was nearly strangled accidentally by the umbilical cord due to a complication. But I think because of one experience in a dream I had where this black thing came around, was choking me and making weird humming noises in my ear. I think that could have been something to do with, which might explain why they were extremely terrifying. And most nightmares usually have a very common theme, like typically running away from trying to run from something they can't. But it's very typical, but mine are just totally off the wall. They're nothing to do with that at all. It's very unique and like probably a lot of people wouldn't be able to quite. And it's one of those things where unless you experienced it, you couldn't really emphasize to the fullest extent. Even if you wanted to or tried to. I mean, I know with other nightmares, like running away from something you can't run. I mean, most people know that, but these were very kind of unique in such a way that only the experiencer could really explain what it was probably like. It was. And I think I was able. I'm not saying I can, but I might have been able to find a reason behind them. Because then after like 10 years, they stopped. Mm-hmm. They never ever came back ever again. They literally was just gone, non-existence. And since then, like for the last 20 years, I've never had one incident of them.
Class.
Yeah, and even towards the end of it, when I did have incidents, they weren't even scary or anything like that. It was just like curious, but back then they were horrific. Before like anywhere between 5 and 10 years old, they were horrendous. Yeah. And I'd be waking up with like sweating, trembling, and all that. But after that, they were nothing. Thank God. Yeah. So so that's, and then any nightmares I'd have would be extremely rare, and then more realistic. They would be more kind of realistic based. Like potential real life situations that could go wrong. Yeah, so how the fuck do we get to that?
Yeah, it's all I guess you talked about a lot in one of the previous podcasts, the adoption one. And you went into the full psychological background of all that stuff. It was crazy, intense, and fair play for fucking saying that stuff.
I'm okay with that.
It's intense. So I guess if you want some more of that, you know where to get it.
Yeah, let's have a look. Yeah. Yeah, so that's But then I like having like out of body experiences and all that stuff. Cool, pretty cool. I had one night actually post COVID, not sick at all.
Post COVID.
COVID.
Got 18 sweet minutes left of the Sunday special. Sunday special. Sunday. Oh, he's hitting the keys.
Sunday. This is no copyright. Anyway, so I forgot. Yeah, so I had this crazy night where I had an out-of-body experience.
Yeah.
I felt like it's coming out of the body. And again, I have the same experience before, and so confirmed that the same thing happened again. Couldn't see anything, but I definitely was floating out, and I felt my feet on the ground. Mm-hmm. Prior to that, I had a lucid dream. Now, a lucid dream and an out-of-body experience sometimes happen together, but typically these three different experiences typically happen a long way apart, well apart, but suddenly they decided to come together to the same house party. So the lucid dream out of body experience, and then a non-lucid but very vivid dream. Typically, when you wake up, fall asleep again, you have the most amazing or the worst dream you could ever have.
Right.
All three. I think it was a sort of good experience. I don't know how good it was, but it was pretty intense. But this was the first time in my 30 plus years in life that I had all three in one night. So interesting. I'm hoping to get it again. Gonna be adventures of the mind. So yeah, so I had the whole lot in one night.
Yeah.
Psychedelic.
Full Monty.
So I'm always curious to know the real difference between like DMT and salvia.
Yeah, you
Probably mentioned this
once or twice.
but like how the fuck are, like, statistically they're so different. DMT is real positive experiences and salvia is so negative, like beyond negative. I'm gonna have to look into that a little bit more.
Yeah.
You ever had any like weird fucked up experience even close to any of those? What's the worst experience you ever had, like if you're stoned, drunk or whatever?
Allegedly,
Allegedly, what happened? Spank it up.
Allegedly, yeah, you just think you're gonna die for like
Yeah.
a day straight,
Yeah.
non-stop.
Shit. Oh, I say that's scary.
Yeah, well, that was kind of
Fuck. Wow. It's like reminds you like if you're like even next day you could be worried about over nothing and you just have that like something sticky in the air.
something sticky in the air.
You ever like had that expression where you feel like there's a little bit of a threat around the air, like around you? You feel a little bit uneasy.
Oh yeah, the fear.
And then they kind of describe that as sticky sometimes, like there's something sticky in the air, like stiffening.
That
or
sounds
sticky.
hilarious.
Yeah, because it sticks to you. And it just sounds like, oh, there's something going on here. I'm not sure, but there's something crazy about this. Whatever it is, I can't. The reason why it's sticky is because you can't really explain it, what it is.
Mhm.
And I've had experiences like that, and then I did end up in a bad way afterwards, like getting mugged or.
Jesus. Yeah, people kind of pick up on that and get targeted and shit.
Yeah,
Sometimes
some
it's
people
mad.
found down to like negative energy, so you find yourself in a situation where it's. Oh, do you know what I'm really interested is I've gone to try to associate music and magnets together,
Magnets.
like how magnets and music are related.
Brilliant. Tell me more about magnets, man. I've heard this a little bit, but I'd love to hear a little bit more.
So do you know where like with a magnet you can
There's positive and negative magnets.
so what happens if you put positive and negative together?
As a charge or something like that?
They attract.
Mm-hmm.
But if you put a plus and a plus together, they repel.
Yeah.
And a minus, they repel again.
Yeah.
If you try and put... In music, it's exactly the same. It's no different. Music represents real life. Have you ever heard someone say, even though you can never have too much of a bad thing, that's not good, but have you ever been told you can not have too much of a good thing either? That's like putting two pluses together.
Go for it.
Well, I'm gonna prove this now.
Brilliant.
What's it?
That's
So-
the octave, yeah.
So,
That's Oregon.
even if there's no musicians, but this is a major distance in terms of major third, but for non-musicians it's the major distance. Major's happy, minor is sad.
Yeah.
Apparently in life you need to have a mixture of happy and sad in order to experience life properly.
Great.
If you have too much of one, sadness or happy, it's not proper. So in music, major third, minor third. For musicians, you can rate that's a minor third. So basically, a major third has 1, 2, 3, 4 semitones,
Right.
and a minor third has 1, 1, 2, 3. Major third, 1, 2, 3, 4. Minor third has 1, 2, 3. So in order to build, you ever heard, like the harmonic series?
Yeah.
Like where they have certain overtones. You know why they sound nice? because they got a major and a minor. They attract together like magnets. So major third 4 semitones plus 3 semitones is 7. Notice the 7 colours in the rainbow.
Shit.
Then you got minor third. Then if you want to add up to 7 but in a slightly different way, rather than 4 plus 3, why not try 3 plus 4? 1, 2, 3. Minor third. No longer major but minor. 1, 2, 3, 4. Major third here, minor third here. 3 semitones plus 4 semitones adds up to 7. The harmonic vibrations.
Right.
Major plus a minor equals a harmonic major chord. Minor plus a major equals harmonic minor chord. Sad but sweet. You ever heard of that? Still sounds nice. Now what happens here? So this is a plus against a minus. This is a minus against a plus. Still attractive either way. But what happens if you put a plus against a plus? 4 semitones plus 4. It goes beyond 7. The magic number. Doesn't sound quite as nice anymore. Doesn't sound as nice as this or this. You have this. Now we're going to put 2 sad ones against each other. 2 minors. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Which is will only go as far as 6. Diminished. Augmented. Diminished. Major, which is harmonizes. Minor harmonized. Augmented does not harmonize. Neither does diminished, which is 2 negatives. So that's probably why in music they don't sound as nice as the ones that attract each other. That's why and life is the same. That's why I think in any situation there has to be duality.
Mm-hmm.
There's always an opposite. How would you know there was an opposite if you never experienced it? That's what I think. It's great, yeah.
Class.
But that's what I think in terms of major and minor. That's why major and minor sound nice. That's why I think they sound nice, because they still have a sense of harmony, whereas with augmented and diminished they're very what they call dissonance, which is against harmony.
Yeah.
Which is very different, which is why they don't sound very nice at all. And they use that in like horror movies as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Class. Alright, so we'll leave it there?
Sure, let's see. Anything you want to...
Wonderful. Anything else you want to get off your chest?
Nah, just...
We're all good?
Just that.
We're all good. Alright, see you next time. All the best. Over and out. It's been the Sunday special.